The rain poured endlessly over the city of Ashbourne, masking the tears that streamed down Evelyn Carter's face. She stood at the edge of the bridge, staring into the dark river below, replaying every memory that had led her here. For 3 years, Evelyn had given her heart to Adrian Blake, a man she believed was her future. He was charming, successful, and always knew the right words to make her feel cherished. She trusted him blindly, until one fateful night shattered her world. At a charity gala, Evelyn's best friend, Claire, pulled her aside. With trembling hands, Claire revealed the truth. Adrian had been unfaithful for months, whispering sweet lies not just to another woman, but to several. Evelyn refused to believe it until she saw the messages with her own eyes. Words of passion and promises, copy-pasted to different women, like cheap lines from a play. Her chest burned with betrayal. But what cut deeper was not Adrian's infidelity, it was the realization that she had been nothing more than a pawn in his game of ego and lust. That night, Evelyn decided she would not cry herself into weakness. She would not be another broken heart in Adrian's collection. Instead, she would become his greatest regret. For weeks, she planned. Adrian thrived on appearances. His reputation as a loyal, respectable businessman was his currency. To destroy him, Evelyn needed only to turn his own arrogance against him. She carefully gathered evidence, screenshots of his affairs, receipts from secret getaways, and even recordings of his late-night phone calls with mistresses. Every piece of betrayal was tucked away like a blade waiting to strike. But Evelyn wasn't careless. She didn't confront him outright. She continued to smile, yacht his jokes, laugh at his stories, and play the doting girlfriend. Adrian never suspected that the woman sitting across from him at dinner was quietly sharpening her revenge. The perfect opportunity arrived during Adrian's annual corporate gala, a night where the city's elite gathered to celebrate his company's achievements. He stood on stage, basking in the applause, his false charm captivating the crowd. Evelyn, dressed in a crimson gown that shimmered under the chandeliers, waited patiently in the wings. When Adrian handed her the microphone to say a few words as his beloved partner, Evelyn's heart pounded like war drums. She smiled, appearing grateful. Then, with a calm, steady voice, she began. I want to take a moment to thank everyone for being here tonight. But more importantly, I want to thank Adrian, my partner, my love, and she paused, her eyes locking on his smug face. The man who taught me the true meaning of betrayal. Gasps rippled through the audience. Adrian's smile faltered. Evelyn continued, her voice unwavering as the truth spilled out like poison. Wrapped in honey, she displayed the evidence on the massive projector screen behind them. Messages, photos, and recordings. The glittering ballroom transformed into a courtroom, and Adrian stood exposed as the fraud he was. His mistresses' names echoed through the hall. His lies spread across the screen for every investor, client, and colleague to witness. In mere minutes, the reputation Adrian had built for years, crumbled into dust. The crowd turned cold. No whispered about pulling out. Employees stared in disgust, and the press swarmed like vultures. Adrian, once untouchable, was reduced to a trembling shell, begging Evelyn to stop. But she didn't. You thought you could play with hearts and walk away untouched, she said, her voice sharp as glass. But tonight, you learn, every action has its consequence. When she finally set the microphone down, silence consumed the room. Evelyn walked away, her heels clicking like gunshots, leaving Adrian drowning in the wreckage of his own sins. Weeks later, Adrian's empire collapsed. Investors withdrew. Scandals filled the papers, and his so-called friends abandoned him. Evelyn, however, found herself freer than ever. She didn't revel in his suffering. Revenge wasn't about watching him burn. It was about reclaiming the power he thought he stole from her. On a quiet evening, as the sun set in hues of gold, Evelyn sat by her window with a glass of wine. She wasn't broken anymore. She wasn't the woman who cried on a bridge, questioning her worth. She was the woman who rose from betrayal and turned pain into strength. And somewhere in the ashes of Adrian Blake's downfall, Evelyn Carter smiled, knowing that sometimes the sweetest justice is simply the truth unveiled.